All right, what's up, everybody? As you can see from the title of this live, I'm going to be doing a little bit of training on how you can continue to reach your page fan followers. Now, if you are a admin of a page or an editor of a page or responsible for managing a page, as you know, Mark Zuckerberg once again has given the pages a big old whack with a hammer and said organic reach is basically down to zero now. Now, it depends on what kind of page that you have, that it may or may well have been. You may have seen this coming, you may not have seen this coming. But I have to be honest, as a page owner of my ad agency and my marketing agency, I've never really put a lot of focus in organic reach on that page because I know that eventually it's just going to get slammed, and it has, and it's happened over the last couple of years, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse over the years to now it's basically zero organic reach. So there's a couple of things that we can do as marketers and as page owners to be able to go in and help our reach continue. So a couple of the things that I'm going to talk about today is installing the Facebook pixel onto your page. If you haven't done that, onto your website pages or landing pages, if you haven't done that, you got to do it immediately. Okay, if you're on Facebook and you have a page, a business page or any kind of page, it needs to be done. You need to get that up on your website, and it needs to just be there. Whether you plan on doing marketing immediately or maybe down the track, the sooner you get this on, the better. And I've said this before, and I've done training on this before, so I'm going to brush over how to do that. But the next step is I'm going to go through and help you guys build out some audiences so you can continue to reach those your fans of your pages. So we're going to go through, do a little bit of audience building, and then I'm going to show you guys how you can go along and create some ads. Now, you don't have to create an ad, a black and white ad. You can also do some boosting of like page post boosting, which, instead of just coming along and hitting the boost and letting Facebook determine where they spend your money, I'm going to show you how you can go in and very quickly and very easily boost those posts and tell Facebook exactly who you want them to be seen by and where. So rather than just saying, here, Facebook, here's $5 or $10, do what you want with it, because they'll just put it in, places where it's not going to be seen as much, and it's not, not everyone is fighting for real estate on those. So, as I mentioned, if you have a website or a landing page, number one thing to do is get that Facebook pixel installed. So what I'm going to do is, I've done some training on this before. It's in my group. You can jump over and check it out in the group. Or just shoot me an email and I can send you, or reply to this live, and I can show you a little bit more in depth on the pixel training. But I'm going to quickly just show you guys. So inside Facebook, let's go back one step. So inside your Facebook here, you want to come down to ads or add, and you're going to shoot over to your pixel. Grab your pixel. We'll just close this down. Okay, you're going to come up to Ads Manager, go to Pixels. Depending on if you've ever opened this up before and gotten a pixel, you may or may not have, this may look a little bit different. This is telling me I need to set it up from scratch because it's just a new demo page. I'm going to find my pixel code here, grab my pixel. I'm going to demonstrate what it's going to look like putting it onto a WordPress website. So if you're on a WordPress website, you basically need to get this little bit snippet of code that Facebook provides, and you need to put this little bit of code onto all your websites, any landing pages you may have, anything like that. So once you've copied it, if you are on WordPress, you're probably familiar with the back end, and if you're not, just shoot your developer or whoever takes care of your website, shoot them an email just with that code in it. So you can come down. I'm using a plugin called Insert Header and Footer, which just makes it easy to track what codes I'm putting in where. You just paste that code into the scripts in the header, and then that's it. You know, there's a little piece of software that I'm going to show you. If you're using Google Chrome, jump over and it is a plugin called Facebook Pixel Helper, and that will just tell you whether your Facebook pixel is up there and working correctly. So as you can see, it's working correctly up here because it goes blue and it goes green, telling you how many different things the pixel is looking for. As you can see here, it's not installed here. So you can see if it's not installed there, you need to make sure go back and find out why it's not installed. So super easy. If you guys are using ClickFunnels or any other kind of websites, you know, Wix or Squarespace or any of them, you can just very easily Google it. It's going to be the very similar process. Once you get this snippet of code, put that onto your website, you'll be good to go as far as being able to start tracking people who come to your website and building audiences based on the data that Facebook is collecting. So once that's done, the very next step I want you guys to do is to go ahead and build out a couple of audiences, okay? So you got your Facebook pixel installed. I'm going to come back up to the top here, come down to audiences. And these audiences I'm going to be based on trying to target your fans and we're going to create a couple of audiences which are for your fans, people who have interacted with your page, people who have interacted with your Facebook page, people who have interacted with Instagram page, and then we'll do one that anyone who comes to any of your websites where that pixel is installed, we'll do an audience for that. So at the moment, we're going to be looking at custom audiences. Okay, so if you're not familiar with this, Facebook gives you a really good variety of different ways that you can build audiences. If you have an email list, you can upload it. You know, you can do apps activity if you have an app installed somewhere. But for the moment, we'll go website traffic just because we just got the pixel up and running. So hit website traffic. It's going to ask you're creating a custom audience. Now, this is where you can have a little bit of flexibility with as far as the days. So the days mean your pixel is installed. You install it day one now. And this is why it's so important to get it up and running right now, because in 30 days time, you want to be able to market to those people who are looking at your website today. Okay. And you can go back 180 days. So I always start with 180 days. And then we'll just say all website. So this would mean all the pages on your website, once you put that pixel on your page, is going to be on all the different pages. But if you are running different software like ClickFunnels or some other landing page software, wherever that pixel's installed, it's going to collect this. Okay, so if you are marketing a couple of different products, you might want to split this down into different audiences. If you're selling, a product on, I don't know, 2 different products, or 2 different courses, you might want to split them up a bit. But for the moment, I'm just going to go all website, 180 days. Okay, I'm going to just copy this so I don't have to write it out again. 180 days, it's going to be all the website visitors. So that's all I'm doing. So save that. Okay, that's my first audiences. Again, I'm going to come along, do the exact same thing. I do one for 60 days. Boom. Okay, so at the moment, this is, as you can see where it says availability. At the moment, it says it's populating. So it's just waiting for people to come along to my site, and then it will start building an audience based on that. It will go green eventually when it's good to use. Sometimes it'll go red first, and it will say your audience is too small. You typically need about 20 people to visit your site for it to be an audience that you can use. So again, I've got 180 days, 60 days. I am going to go website traffic. I'll keep a 30-day one. And And I'm going to make a 7-day one, and sometimes I even make a 3 or 4-day one if you are doing something that's, very time sensitive. So there we go, 7 days. All right, so these are the audiences that's going to be gathering. Anyone who comes to any of those sites that you have that pixel in, you are going to be able to go back and show your Facebook ads, or you're going to be able to show a boosted post to those people. Okay, and these are fantastic audiences because they've shown an interest in you. They've been to your website, whether they've been there, quickly, or they've gone right through your website. They've shown an interest that they're interested in you or your product or your services. So they are really, really valuable audiences. And once these audiences get a little bit bigger, we can then go and make lookalike audiences from these audiences, which again they're the best kind of audiences you can make. So the next one we're going to do is, and this is based on being able to communicate and be able to get in front of the eyes of your page fans. This is one of the things that Mark Zuckerberg has decided to put a bit of a hammer on. So we need to go ahead and create these audiences and start putting some marketing dollars behind it. Now you can spend, only small amounts, you don't have to spend a fortune. You might want to just spend $5 or $10 per post. But you might want to start thinking a little bit more about not posting so often and just making your posts really meaningful and full of great, valuable content for people. And then you definitely want to have a call for action. You don't want to just be posting and then boosting, little quotes or stuff like that. Unless you are trying to do some, grow your page by getting people to like it. But these audiences are particularly just to be able to communicate again with the people who have already shown an interest in you. You're kind of your warm audience. So when you do a post, like I said, maybe not post so much and then just do a little bit more meaningful and valuable posts. And you want to be able to have links on these posts. And you want to make sure that you can try and make money off that if that's, what you're looking for, or donations if you're a nonprofit. So making sure that they have links and call to actions for the posts that you're paying for is super valuable and super important as well, rather than just making a regular old post and then not having any links or call to action and then putting money behind that. So we have our retargeting for our websites. So we're just going to go down and we're going to make another custom audience. And this time we're going to come down here to engagement. Okay. And Facebook keeps adding all these extra engagement, which is it's awesome, to be able to go and start making these audiences. And like I mentioned, the sooner you make these audiences, the better. Because even if you don't plan on using this in the next week or two, it's great to just go in here, set them up, and know, Facebook is just continually adding to that and continually building on your audiences. So what we're going to do is just for this one, because the whole idea is to be able to get back into the eyes of your Facebook page fans. So we're going to come down, create a custom audience under Facebook pages. So anyone who has engaged with your page, again, it's going to give you a time frame. Let's start with the whole year. So we can just name this page engaged, and then 365 days. Okay, copy that out. So anyone who has liked, commented, shared, anything, any kind of engagement on that page, this audience is now going to be built out, and you're going to be able to go back and target these people. So again, it's just going to be populating, it's going to be thinking, doing, going back and checking out who has engaged with you. So again, I would do the same thing as I did with the website. I'm just going to go through and make a couple more with different time frames. Engagement, Facebook page, started with 360. Let's just do 180. Boom. You know what? I actually didn't change. I changed the name of it, but I didn't change the actual day here. So make sure you change it there, not just the name. 180. Oh, come on. 180 days. Okay. Okay, go back to audiences. So these audiences are going to allow you to go and enter and send those ads and boosted posts back to the people who have been following your pages. As I kept mentioning, Mark Zuckerberg has put a big hammer on the reach that pages get. It's going to be basically zero. Over the last few years, it's been slowly declining, and it's now just if you have a business page, you have to pay to be on Facebook to get any kind of reach. So these are a couple of the audiences that we made. So we got page engagement for 365 days, page engagement for 180. I'll just do one more for the sake of the demo. Facebook page, and I'm just going to say one for 30 days. But the 30 days one is probably pretty short. It would be all right if you were doing Facebook retargeting for a page, but for an actual page like this, someone who's interacted with your page, 3 or 4 months ago, are probably still going to want to see your content. So I would, even though you can go ahead and make it, I probably would always advertise to people who have engaged with my page over the last year. It's going to give you the biggest audience, and that also depends on your page size as well. If you have hundreds of thousands of likes on your pages, you might want to just do the last 30 or 60 or 90 days, people who are a bit more engaged. But I would definitely be looking at, for smaller pages, just stick with the year, stick with as long as you can go back. All right, so now we have a couple of audiences. As I kept mentioning, Mark Zuckerberg put the big hammer on the reach. So we want to be able to go and continue to engage with the people who have already told us that they like us, they're interested in our stuff. But, if you're posting away, it's already been less than 5% of those people would see your posts. And now it's going to be even less without putting some marketing dollars behind that. So, like I said, get that Facebook pixel installed, start building these audiences because they're just going to work for you. Whether you plan on doing marketing now or in 6 months' time or 3 months' time, just get those audiences up there and working for you. So that's kind of it for those 2 steps. And then I'll just show you briefly, if you guys aren't familiar with making an ad, it's super easy. So rather than just making a post on your pages and then boosting them and telling Facebook, hey, I trust you to go and spend all my money on Facebook and put it in the right places. What we would want to do is we want to tell Facebook where to put those ads and who to send them to. Okay, and you can pick your audiences with doing a boosted post, but I always find it takes you maybe a couple of extra minutes to go ahead and actually just go and create these pages, create an ad. So the first one I'm going to show you is if you already made a post and you just want to go ahead and basically this is the equivalent of boosting it because you don't have to create the ad. It's already the content that you're going to use is already on your page, but you just have a lot more control of where that ad is going to be shown and where that post is going to be shown. So where you're going to come up to create ad. Now, at the moment, I'm just going to show you guys engagement posts because this is kind of what we're looking at. If you want to dive a little bit deeper into more like conversion, making a conversion ad, that's definitely something we can do. Maybe I might do that later in the week. But for the moment, we're just going to go engagement because that's kind of what we're looking at. Still continue to engage with our pages, but now we have to pay for it now. So I'm just going to say engagement demo. Okay. And this is where you get to pick those audiences that we chose. So you're going to come down to, it's going to be found in custom audiences. So if you had made a post and you wanted everyone who is engaged in your page to see that ad, you would just come down to page engaged, Click that. There's no point adding these extra days because you got the 365 days, so it's just going to go back as far as you can. At the moment, this isn't going to give me a good estimate because of we just made these audiences, and this is a demo account, so it's not really it doesn't have any data really to tell you what its reach is going to be. So I'm going to get rid of all the locations because it's page engagement, so I don't care where they are actually from. If they've liked the page and interacted with it, it doesn't matter. Again, age, genre, language, I'm not going to bother about because they've already expressed that they have an interest with us. Okay, so this is where you want to pay a little bit more attention is, okay, down where the placement, so where we're actually going to put these ads is straight on the Facebook feed, okay? I'm not going to do, because we're doing a boosted post, I'm not going to do any Instagram. I don't want it in suggested videos. I don't want it in the video streams or instant articles. I just want it in my followers feeds. Okay. So up here you have devices. I'm going to take off the TV. And then I'm going to keep mobile and desktop as is. Oh, let's take these off again. Okay. All right, down here. This is if your mobile devices are connected to a Wi-Fi and also devices. So if you were doing some advertising for an app that was only available on Android, this is where you can come along and just advertise to people who are on Android. So daily budget. Like I said, anything from $5 a day is going to start giving you some great reach. Well, a lot more than what you're going to get organically. So $5 a day, depending on how long you want to run it, you can set your time here. It really depends on the actual post. If it's like an evergreen post, you might want to run it for a month. If it's just a regular post where you kind of, just want to run it for 3 or 4 days, do that. So just for the sake of the exercise, I'll just keep that end date. Typically it defaults to a month, so just be careful of that. Okay, now this is where you will either come and create the ad or use the existing post. Now we just want to use the existing post. So you just come up here, select the page. If you're managing several pages, this is where you're going to find what page it's relevant to. This is my post. It was just, again, a bit of a demo post. But if you had an image and that in there, it would all show up nicely in there. So you can show some extra options. Track it with your pixel. One of the things that sometimes gives you the option of adding a button, but I'm not sure why this one hasn't. But maybe because it's just for post engagement. So because it's post engagement, it's not going to give you a button. You're not trying to send someone off to another website or something. If you did select like traffic or conversion, it will give you the option to add a button there. So that's kind of it, So just looking back over it, you can go back and just check your ad. So the main thing is the audience here, being able to continually advertise to the audiences that people have already shown interest in. That's, this is the way you're going to have to do it now. Otherwise you're not going to get any kind of reach with your pages at the moment. That may or may not change. I very much doubt it, but it's the way it's going to be for the moment. So that is creating an ad out of your already existing post. Get a bit of a drink here. That's kind of it. I just wanted to show you guys. I'm going to jump over and see if there's any questions. If anyone has any questions, just throw them into the comments. Kind of gone a little longer than I anticipated, but that usually happens when I start talking about this kind of stuff. Like I said, we might dive in a little bit more and do something about the conversions if you want to learn a bit more about the conversion and then actually creating an ad where you would, pick a headline and upload the images and that. But for the moment, I just wanted to keep this simple, keep it keep it more relevant to being able to create audiences to contact the people and get those eyes in front of the people who have already shown an interest. So anyway, I hope you guys found this valuable. If you have any questions, jump over into my group, which is a marketing for nonprofits and church group. You can find the link to that on my personal profile if you're watching on there. If not, it's a great place to come along and have conversations about marketing, especially for the nonprofit industry. So anyway, I hope you guys found this helpful, and I hope you guys have a great day. See ya.